The one thing you actually walked in for, a simple carton of milk, is placed as far from the front door as the building allows. And it isn't only milk. Bread, eggs, the basics that almost everyone needs, all of them quietly pushed to the far back walls. It feels like a tiny daily annoyance, a long walk across the whole store for one small, ordinary thing. But it is no accident. Every shelf, every turn, every smell in that store was placed exactly where it is for one very careful, very deliberate reason. So here is the question you never quite think to ask while you're standing there, waiting in the checkout line. Why is an entire supermarket built to make the simplest possible trip take the longest possible path through it? The answer is that a supermarket is not really a store at all. It is a carefully engineered machine built around you, and that machine has a single job: to keep you inside longer and send you home with far more than you ever planned. So let's walk it together, from the front door all the way to the till, and watch the machine quietly work on you. The moment you step inside, you hit an area that store designers quietly call the decompression zone. For those first few steps, you barely register any products at all. You're just slowing down, adjusting, settling into the space. Then, almost every single time, the very first thing you meet is fresh flowers and bright, colorful piled-up produce. It smells fresh, it looks healthy, and it quietly puts you into a warm, relaxed, generous, spending kind of mood. You feel good about this place before you have bought a single thing, and that good feeling is entirely the point. Now you set off to find your milk, and the long, winding walk toward the very back of the store begins. Some of the things you pass are shockingly cheap. A whole roast chicken, milk, a dozen eggs, priced almost to grab you. These are called loss leaders. The store barely profits on them at all, and sometimes even sells them at a deliberate loss. Why give things away like that? Because one cheap chicken gets you through the door and pulls you deep into the aisles. And once you are walking those long aisles, surrounded on every side, the real money quietly begins to change hands. Look straight ahead, right at your own eye level. That shelf is the single most valuable piece of real estate in the store. The industry even has a little saying for it. Eye level is buy level. Whatever is easiest to see is what sells the most. So the products sitting at your eye level are rarely the cheapest ones. They are usually the ones with the fattest profit margins. The cheaper, plainer, generic brands, those get pushed way down low or stretched up high, where your eyes have to actually work, and crouch down to a small child's eye level, and you'll find the sugary cereals and bright toys aimed directly at kids. But here is the part that genuinely surprises most people. The store doesn't always decide on its own what goes at eye level. The big brands actually pay the supermarket for that prime position. The payment is common enough to have a name, a slotting fee, so the shelf right in front of you isn't some neutral, honest display. It's paid advertising, arranged mostly by whoever paid the most. You feel like you're freely choosing. Really, you're choosing from a lineup that somebody quietly bought, ranked, and arranged for you. Now you reach the end of an aisle, and something bright and bold is stacked up high, looking exactly like a special deal. These are called end caps, and they feel like real bargains. Very often, though, they aren't actually discounted by a single cent. The big display and the bold sign do all the work. Your brain reads the word sale long before it ever reads the price. And notice how you're drifting along in one long, curving loop, past aisle after aisle, rarely ever walking in a straight line. That winding path is not lazy or careless design. It is carefully built to march you past the maximum number of products. Every extra aisle you pass is another few things you never planned to buy, quietly and steadily landing in your cart. And speaking of that cart, its size, believe it or not, is not an accident either. Shopping carts have quietly grown bigger over the decades, because a bigger cart makes a half-full basket look almost embarrassingly empty. So you keep on adding things, instinctively trying to fill it, long after you already have everything you actually came in for. Even the music playing softly overhead is quietly doing a job that you never once consciously hear. Studies found that slow, gentle background music makes shoppers move more slowly, and slower shoppers reliably end up spending more. Nothing in here is ever rushing you. Everything is quietly, warmly, patiently encouraging you to stay just a little bit longer. Because, exactly like a casino, the longer you stay inside, the more the whole careful machine quietly earns from you. Finally, after that whole long walk, you reach the very back wall, and there at last it is, your carton of milk. By now, your cart is already full of things that were never once on your list when you first walked through the door. And the machine has saved one last stop just for you, the single most profitable few feet in the entire store, the checkout line, where you stand completely still, a little bored and tired, with nothing at all to do but look around. And right there, Exactly at hand height sit candy, gum, chocolate, and magazines. Small, cheap, tempting little things. This is the impulse zone, and it is engineered specifically for the tired, decision-worn version of you standing there at the end. After a whole store full of choices, your willpower is running low, and one tiny chocolate bar feels completely harmless. So it drops into the cart, almost without a real decision. Now multiply that one small moment by millions of tired shoppers. None of these little moments ever feels like manipulation. Each single one feels like your own free, casual, harmless choice. And that is exactly the genius of the whole thing. The path is carefully designed, yet every single step feels entirely like yours. So let's step back for a moment and look at the whole store from above, the way its designers actually see it. Not as friendly shelves of food, but as a single, careful map for moving you and your money in one direction. Milk at the back, flowers at the door, fat margins at eye level, cheap candy waiting right at the till. Every one of those decisions was made in a quiet room you never get to see, long before you ever arrived. So let's step inside that room, where the real design of your entire shopping trip actually gets decided. A long table, a giant floor plan up on the wall. Executives moving products around it like pieces on a game board. Every shelf position is argued over, measured, and quietly sold. Nothing on that entire map is ever placed there by chance. They are not sitting there deciding what you actually need. They are deciding what you'll walk past, notice, and reach out to grab. And the one number they truly care about isn't your groceries at all. It's your basket size, how much you leave with. Every clever trick out on that floor exists to nudge that single number a little bit higher on every single visit. The store you always assumed was built for your convenience was, quietly, built for that one number instead. So now turn it all around and take an honest look back at your own last trip through those automatic doors. You went in for milk. You walked back out with bags full of things the layout had gently, expertly steered you toward. The flowers softened you up. The cheap chicken pulled you in. The eye-level margins quietly filled your waiting hands. The end caps felt just like real deals. The slow music kept you strolling. The candy caught you exactly when you were tired. And the milk, sitting way back at the very far wall, made absolutely sure you walked past every last one of them. And none of this is a trick in the illegal sense. Every price and every position is completely legal and openly displayed. The real genius is that it never once has to force you. It only has to quietly arrange the whole room around you. You were completely free the entire time. You were simply free inside a path that somebody else had carefully drawn first. So the next time the milk is somehow a mile from the door, you'll finally know that it isn't bad design. It's the very best design in the whole building. It just was never once designed for you. The layout was never really about helping you find the things you need any faster or any easier. It was about walking you slowly past absolutely everything, in the exact order most likely to quietly open your wallet. You didn't overspend because you're somehow weak, greedy, or careless whenever you go to the shops. You overspent because the entire room around you was quietly, patiently, expertly built to make absolutely sure that you would. Cheap staples to pull you in. A long, winding path to walk you through. Tired little impulses to finish you off at the end. A whole quiet machine, cleverly disguised as nothing more than a friendly, ordinary local grocery store. So the next time you walk in for one small thing and somehow leave with a completely full cart, remember, you didn't lose track or lose control. You were quietly, carefully walked exactly where they always wanted you to go. You went in to buy some milk. The store quietly went in to sell you everything else.